Hello, financial freedom seekers. Welcome back to our channel where we decode the mysteries of money making. Privately, Huang was saying his company would someday overtake Intel. CUDA and AI-geared GPUs were only a few of the many bets Huang made around this time, and a lot of them were bad. He fought with Intel again to break into mobile devices, a battle they both lost to Qualcomm Inc. Nvidia also tried to make tablet computers, television set-top boxes and a smart speaker. None of them took off. Those close to Huang say he has a remarkable ability to erase bad decisions from his company's collective memory. This Men in Black maneuver helps his teams quickly move on to the next project. In alignment gatherings before audiences of as many as 400 employees, Huang asks general managers to present a business strategy as he watches from the front row and delivers a Simon Cowell-like assessment. His critiques can be vicious, according to 3 people who've attended these meetings. The public harangue, these people say, is intended not for the person on stage but for the hundreds behind Huang. They're supposed to internalize his instructions and adjust their actions accordingly, a management style that's kind of like parallel computing. Nobody really knows how the black box works, but it works on a lot of data, and every once in a while, you'll get emotions out of it, says a former longtime Nvidia executive who worked closely with Huang. He's almost the perfect AI. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when tech stocks were going wild, Nvidia crossed 2 milestones that would redefine the company. In July 2020, it was crowned America's most valuable chipmaker. The next month, Nvidia said its quarterly revenue from data centers surpassed gaming for the first time. I believed him 10 years ago when he said Nvidia would be bigger than Intel, says Morris Chong, founder of the contract semiconductor manufacturer TSMC. It wasn't so much Huang's proselytizing about AI that was resonating with Wall Street at this time. People were playing more video games and betting huge sums on Bitcoin and other digital currencies, driving demand for Nvidia GPUs, which excelled at crypto mining. Huang tried, unsuccessfully, to ride this momentum and buy chip designer ARM, responsible for the most widely used design standard in the semiconductor industry. The $40 billion bid would finally secure a place for Nvidia in mobile and expand its reach to many other kinds of products. But companies that relied on ARM's chip designs were already wary of Nvidia's growing power, and US regulators sued to block the merger. Huang conceded in February 2022. All the while, AI remained a primary focus for Nvidia executives. The chief financial officer, Colette Kress, says shareholders struggled to understand the pitch. You talk into your phone and ask where the nearest Starbucks is, that is AI. Behind the scenes, there's this GPU working to solve that problem for you with data. I can't even tell you how many times I've said that. The conversations are easier today. Super simple. Chat GPT. Ask Nvidia's customers what it's like to work with the company, and they'll tell you it's similar to dealing with Intel at its peak: no discounts, no negotiating, no skipping the line. Which explains why some of Nvidia's biggest buyers are trying to create their own chips. None, though, have been able to match Nvidia's package of chip design and sophisticated programming, which requires extensive and ongoing investment and expertise. You wish a lot of the other vendors were at the same speed and execution and were creating markets and creating workloads like Nvidia is, says Nafia Bishara, vice president of Amazon Web Services. We'd all be in better shape. Musk tried to wean Tesla off Nvidia technology in 2018. He unveiled a Tesla-designed chip that eventually replaced Nvidia's self-driving platform inside the company's cars. It's strategic for them, building their own chip and sort of owning this end-to-end, says Sarah Tariq, Nvidia's vice president for autonomous driving software. She says Tesla remains a big customer of Nvidia GPUs for data center training. And Musk recently ordered thousands of Nvidia GPUs for another AI project, according to news reports. He'll be lucky if he receives them before Labor Day, not because Huang holds a grudge but because no one gets special treatment. Musk didn't respond to requests for comment. Alphabet, Amazon and Microsoft have also invested billions of dollars in chip design. Google has made significant strides with its tensor processing units. Midjourney, the popular AI image generator app, said in March it was adopting Google's processors for model training alongside Nvidia GPUs. An analysis by New Street Research LLP found that Google's chip delivers as much as 6 times the performance per dollar as Nvidia's A100. But that comes with trade-offs. Google's are less flexible in how they process data, and the advantage won't necessarily hold for more than a year or two. The successor to the A100, the Hopper 100, named after the pioneering programmer Grace Hopper, is now in production and already matches the performance of Google's chip. Even the most powerful people in the industry are acting very, very politely toward Huang. Everybody is afraid of pissing off Nvidia. A Google spokesperson says that the company values its partnership with Nvidia and that its chips are complementary to GPUs. Huang demurs when asked about threats to his business. He bristles at complaints about the price of Nvidia GPUs and contends that a customer spends less to power his machines in the long run because they're so efficient. "We are the save you money company," he says. He refuses to talk about Musk and says he was unaware Midjourney's allegiance was swaying. He says he doesn't care if his customers become competitors and he'll continue to treat Google as one of his best customers because it really is one of his best customers. Alphabet Inc. is Nvidia's third largest client. "We pretty much run away from competition," Huang deadpans. "I'm a coward. I hate fighting for stuff." Huang says he wishes the US and China would stop fighting, too. Last August, Nvidia became a target of government limits on the spread of AI. The Biden administration now requires licenses to export Nvidia's most advanced chips, including the A100 and H100, to China. So Nvidia quickly spun up a hobbled version of the A100 that won't trigger the restrictions because it accesses data more slowly. The US doesn't want China to achieve parity in chipmaking. Huang argues that President Joe Biden's restrictions will do the opposite. They incentivize China to foster a homegrown industry, and it already has more than 50 GPU companies. Huang sets the stakes even higher and suggests the restrictions could trigger an international incident, specifically, an invasion of a nearby island where much of the world's semiconductors, including Nvidia's, are manufactured. China is not going to sit back and be regulated. You got to ask yourself, at what point do they just say, F it? Let's go to Taiwan. We've got nothing to lose. At some point they will have nothing to lose. Huang sees the arrival of Chat GPT as the iPhone moment for AI. It's already led to a resurgence of Microsoft's Bing search engine, mesmerizing new text-to-image capabilities in Adobe Inc.'s Photoshop and stunning advances in medical research. Nvidia's GPUs are, of course, the foundation for all these. So Huang has been hopscotching across the planet, sermonizing his company's role in the AI revolution at an endless series of conferences. He personally adjusts his presentation slides, making sure the photo angles of his GPUs look as striking as possible and meticulously arranging and resizing the logos of Nvidia customers. Lately, however, his slides have featured so many AI clients, Baidu, ExxonMobil, JP Morgan Chase, McDonald's, Pfizer, that the logos are now tiny, almost indiscernible pixels on the screen. On a recent sunny afternoon at Nvidia's California headquarters, Huang staggers into a conference room named after Michael Crichton's Westworld. That morning, Huang had flown to another tech conference, this one in Las Vegas, delivered a keynote, glad-handed with customers, did a television hit and zoomed back to Silicon Valley for this interview. Huang slumps onto a gray sofa. He has every right to be tired, but he appears to be feigning exhaustion as a gag. Even at age 60, Huang hasn't shown any signs of wanting to hand over the keys to the machine. "Our company was built so that I know how to run it. So for as long as I'm running it, that's all that matters." He once heckled a roomful of his peers at a gala, saying, "You guys know that all of you are serving a term. I'm serving life. When your children are running your companies, I'll be here." A few months ago, Huang hit his 30th year as head of Nvidia, making him the longest tenured CEO in the semiconductor industry. But he says those in his orbit know he hates celebrations. They don't even bring up his birthday. "The only email I got was an automatic email from the Our IT system that says, 'Dear Jensen, you have an employee who reached a 30-year anniversary.' And that employee's name was me," Huang says with self-satisfaction. Not one other person said congratulations, happy 30th, nothing. Silicon Valley has a proud history of CEOs who terrify employees. But Huang is now leading one of the most important companies shaping the trajectory of AI, and a sizable portion of the population is scared of what AI can do. They want to know what the leaders of AI believe in. Are they ethical? Will their employees have the courage to raise objections? Can they be trusted? When Huang dropped off that GPU supercomputer to OpenAI in 2016, he signed the box with a marker, "To Elon and the OpenAI team. To the future of computing and humanity." Musk has since become perhaps the most vocal critic of AI, calling it a threat to society, and has said his split from OpenAI was on ethical grounds. His co-founder, Altman, has warned that AI poses a risk of extinction on par with nuclear war. Geoffrey Hinton, a pioneering AI researcher who contributed to the AlexNet breakthrough, has said AI represents a more urgent threat to humanity than climate change. Yet, when repeatedly pressed on these concerns, Huang fires back, "I don't care about Sam. I don't care about what Elon said. I don't care about what Hinton said. Just ask me." Huang says Nvidia has software guardrails to keep AI confined to its assigned tasks. He tends to see things in techno-utopian terms. Huang acknowledges that AI has the potential to do real harm but says it's no different from the danger of chemical warfare, fake news and so on. He wants targeted government regulation, for surgical robots, for AI-assisted flying, but says the idea of a mandated pause on AI development is silly and the way to make AI safe is to advance AI. Huang says his 2 adult children have never expressed to him any anxieties about AI, only amazement of its potential. We're frightened about social media, but we're not frightened by AI. He clarifies a moment later that both his children work at Nvidia. A few weeks later, Huang flew to Taiwan, his birthplace, to give yet another speech on the future of AI. On stage before a thunderous crowd, he revealed Nvidia's latest AI supercomputer, a 55-foot wide, 4-foot deep system he described as one giant GPU, weighing 40,000 pounds. The machine can run so hot that it's equipped with 2,000 fans capable, within minutes, of displacing all the air in the expansive auditorium he was in. Huang stepped under a life-size image of the machine displayed behind him to show its daunting scale. He compared it to 4 elephants. Yeah, nothing scary about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to serving you with more exciting videos in the future. We hope it has been helpful in understanding the world of passive income and affiliate marketing. I have my affiliate marketing links listed below on this channel. Please click on them now and discover the best affiliate marketing program I am very proud to be a part of, which is onlinebusiness.app. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and comment below and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video from Passive Income Journey 777.